Bore da a chroeso bawb.
Good morning and welcome all to this plenary meeting. This is a recall of the Senedd under Standing Order 12.3. Our sole item of business this morning will be the nomination of a First Minister under Standing Order 8. Therefore, we'll move immediately to that. Are there any nominations for appointment as First Minister?
I'm proud to nominate Eluned Morgan to be the First Minister of Wales.
Diolch yn fawr, mae Eluned Morgan.
Thank you. Eluned Morgan has been nominated. Are there any further nominations?
Delfryd.
Enwebaf.
Diolch, mae Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Rhun ap Iorwerth is nominated. Are there any further nominations?
For the Welsh Conservative group, I'd like to nominate Andrew RT Davies.
Mae Andrew RT Davies.
Andrew RT Davies has been nominated. Are there any further nominations? There are none. Therefore, we have received 3 nominations, and as a result, I will conduct a vote by roll call and invite each member present to vote for a candidate. I will call each member present alphabetically, and please clearly state the name of the candidate you support when you are called, or indicate clearly if you wish to abstain in accordance with Standing Order 8.2. Neither the Deputy Presiding Officer nor myself are permitted to vote. So we will begin on the roll call, and I will start with Rhys Abawen.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Mick Antonif.
Eluned Morgan.
Mabon ap Gwynfor.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Natasha Ashgar.
Andrew RT Davies.
Hannah Blythen.
Eluned Morgan.
Dawn Bowden.
Eluned Morgan.
Jane Bryant.
Eluned Morgan.
Kevin Campbell.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Hefin David.
Eluned Morgan.
Alan Davis.
Eluned Morgan.
Andrew RT Davies.
Andrew RT Davies.
Gareth Davis.
Andrew RT Davies.
Paul Davis.
Andrew RT Davies.
Jane Dodds.
Abstain.
Mark Drakeford.
Eluned Morgan.
James Evans.
T. Davies.
Rebecca Evans. Janet Finch Saunders.
Andrew RT Davies.
Luke Fletcher.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Peter Fox.
Andrew Davies.
Heledd Vychan.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Russell George.
Andrew Davies.
Vaughan Gething.
Eluned Morgan.
Tom Gifford.
Andrew RT Davies.
John Griffiths.
Eluned Morgan.
Leslie Griffiths. Llyr Griffith.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Sian Gwenllian.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Mike Hedges.
Eluned Morgan.
Vicky Howells.
Eluned Morgan.
Altaf Hussein. Ddim yn pleidleisio.
Not voting.
Eluned Morgan.
Hugh Ranker Davis.
Eluned Morgan.
Mark Isherwood.
Andrew Davies.
Joel James.
Andrew RT Davies.
Julie James.
Eluned Morgan.
Delith Jewell.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Laura Ann Jones.
Andrew RT Davies.
Samuel Kurtz.
Andrew RT Davies.
Jeremy Miles.
Eluned Morgan.
Darren Miller.
Andrew RT Davies.
Eluned Morgan.
Eluned Morgan.
Julie Morgan.
Eluned Morgan.
Sarah Murphy.
Eluned Morgan.
Lynn Eagle.
Eluned Morgan.
Predir Owen Griffiths.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Rhiannon Pasmo.
Eluned Morgan.
Adam Price.
Rhun ap Iorwerth.
Jenny Rathbone.
Eluned Morgan.
Sam Rowlands.
Andrew RT Davies.
Jack Sargent.
Eluned Morgan.
Ken Skates.
Eluned Morgan.
Carolyn Thomas. Ddim yn pleidleisio. Lee Waters.
Eluned Morgan.
Joyce Watson. Buffy Williams. Senedd Williams.
Iorwerth.
Mae pob aelod.
All members who wish to vote have done so, and therefore I will now pause for the clerk to confirm the result of the vote.
Felly dyma ganlyniad.
Therefore, this is the definitive result of this vote. Eluned Morgan has 28 votes, Andrew RT Davies 15, Rhun Iorwerth 12, abstentions 1, and therefore 56 votes have been cast, and I therefore declare that Eluned Morgan is nominated for appointment as First Minister of Wales in accordance with Standing Order 47.4 of the Government of Wales Act. I will recommend to His Majesty the appointment of Eluned Morgan as First Minister. Many congratulations.
Llongyfarchiadau.
Many congratulations to Eluned Morgan, and her first job will be to address the Senedd. Eluned Morgan.
Well, thank you very much, Iorwerth and the Senedd, and apologies to all of you for cutting across your summer recess. It's the greatest pleasure and privilege of my life to stand before you today as the first woman to become the First Minister of Wales.
It's the honour of my life to stand before you today as the first woman to become the First Minister of Wales. 25 years ago, we witnessed the dawn of a new era with the birth of devolution. This pivotal moment was the realisation of Welsh ambition, a rekindling of our national spirit and the beginning of a journey towards greater self-determination within the United Kingdom. Hoffwn ddiolch.
I'd like to thank my direct predecessor in this role, Vaughan Gething, for his service. Another innovator on the journey on devolution.
Thank my immediate predecessor to this role, Vaughan Gething, for his service. Another true trailblazer on that devolution journey. But I'm acutely aware that he and I are just links in a chain of leadership that stretches back to the very start of devolution. Alan, who helped lay the foundations of the Assembly, Rodri, the visionary advocate, Carwyn, who steered us through austerity, Mark, who guided us during the pandemic, and Vaughan, who broke diversity barriers with his historic victory. As I take up the mantle of leadership, I promise to honour their achievements and add my own distinctive contribution to this legacy, perhaps with a vibrant splash of colour. The grey suits are out. This is an historic day as a woman becomes the First Minister of Wales for the first time in our history.
This isn't just about shattering glass ceilings. It's about shattering them forever, using the pieces to create a mosaic of new possibilities. I carry with me the wisdom of the women who have battled, struggled, and persevered without the recognition that they've deserved.
Women watching today, you need to know your potential is limitless. The path to leadership is not now just a possibility, it's a reality. And I look forward to the day when a woman becoming First Minister is no longer extraordinary, but a normal part of our Welsh political life. As First Minister, I promise to champion voices and experiences which have too often been sidelined and silenced, to champion parts of Wales that too often feel like they're on the periphery, like my home in St David's in West Wales. No one will be left out. I extend my hand in gratitude and in genuine partnership to everyone in Wales. In a world where things that divide us are amplified and emphasised, sometimes for profit, I want to make it clear that I will be a listening First Minister, listening to all, not just those who shout the loudest or who have the most power. Dwi'n gobeithio cael fy...
I hope to be defined by my tireless commitment to the people of Wales, by my years of public service and my commitment to creating a fairer, greener and more prosperous nation for all of us. A leader who focuses on achievement and delivery and who's ambitious for our nation. A leader who is driven by a feeling of a sense of service and respect to the people I serve.
Defined by my unwavering commitment to the people of Wales, by my years of public service and my determination to create a fairer, greener and more prosperous nation for us all. A leader focused on delivery and on ambition for our nation. A leader driven by a sense of service and respect for the people I serve. For 30 years, I've dedicated my life to public service, guided by the values of fairness and justice. This journey has taken me from the European Parliament to the Chambers of Westminster to the Senedd, representing Mid and West Wales, and now to the heart of the Welsh Government. I grew up in Ely, one of the largest council housing estates in Europe. As many of you know, our home, the vicarage, had an open-door policy. People would come along with their needs and troubles at all hours, day and night. It struck me then, as it does now, that so many intelligent and decent people weren't getting the breaks that they deserved. It also struck me how the incredible people, many of them women, some who are in the gallery today, who held that community together, created a deep sense of belonging and strength. This is the community that shaped me, the community that ignited my passion for democratic politics and that made me a socialist and a trade unionist that I am today.
As I lived in that community, I learnt an invaluable lesson about the need to listen, to truly listen to the concerns and hopes of everyone.
It taught me the invaluable lesson of listening, really listening to the concerns and hopes of everyone. Recent experiences on the doorsteps across Wales have revealed a troubling truth, I think, to us all, that many people have become deeply disconnected from the political process. Others are falling for superficially attractive answers to the most complex of issues, answers which scapegoat the most vulnerable and breed mistrust and division. But make no mistake, the greatest threat to our democracy isn't a particular party or ideology, it's the belief that politics cannot change society for the better. And I reject that belief entirely. As the threat of discord grows, we cannot be passive observers. We must all be active advocates for the fact that politics can change things for the better. And we must all be advocates that promotes the proposition that all people are entitled to live in dignity and need to be afforded respect. We must work to restore trust with the public. Mae Cymru yn genedl.
Wales is a warm and welcoming nation, and our political discourse needs to reflect that. Our differences should be a source of strength, not division.
Must be a source of strength, not a cause of division. The last few weeks have been difficult, and we've been through some turmoil. But we know that we are at our best when we work in unity, as a party and as a nation. Under my leadership, our focus will be firmly on Wales and its people, listening to what people want and delivering in every corner of this great nation. Now is
the time to focus on the issues that genuinely impact our communities and are important to them.
In all parts of Wales, listening to you, the public, to ensure that we tackle the concerns that really matter to you.
My vision is to see Wales as a nation where everyone can contribute to our success, regardless of their background.
Is one where everyone can contribute to our shared success, regardless of background. It's our job in government to provide everyone with the opportunity to fulfil their potential. And this is based on a deep belief I have that the success of one leads to the success of many. But we have to be realistic about the challenge ahead. The last 14 years have left the public finances in a dire state, and there will be some tough decisions to make. But the difference now will be that we will be making that work in partnership with the new UK Labour government and its genuine commitment to public services, renewed respect for devolution and a desire to work together. Now, they used to say that behind every successful man, there is a woman. On this occasion, there will be an impressive man behind a woman. Now, on this occasion, I'm not talking about my lovely husband, Rhys. I'm thrilled to be embarking on this journey with you, Iorwerth Davies, and this marks the first step of many changes to come. I couldn't ask for a more capable political partner.
We bring a whole host of experience and understanding to our leadership, as well as a deep belief in the fact that people succeed when they work together for Wales. I want everyone to know that their voices are important.
In Cardiff Bay, I'm a Welsh citizen just like you. I want to understand the challenges that you face. I want your priorities to become my priorities. Together, we can build a Wales that is open for business and committed to wealth creation. Because if you want to share wealth, first of all, you have to create it. We will fight poverty through economic growth and by redistributing our riches fairly. We will build a Wales that understands that well-being is at the heart of people's happiness and their ability to contribute. A Wales where our children can grow up with opportunities, where they can feel hopeful for the future. A Wales that leaves no stone unturned in our efforts to improve our NHS and education system, where we harness the latest technology to make public services better, and where we understand that for the sake of future generations, we'll need to make changes to respond to the climate and nature emergencies.
In speaking up for Wales at every opportunity, I intend to lead a government that listens, that learns and that delivers. Today, I invite you to join me in creating and forging a dynamic, diverse nation where everyone can prosper and see themselves as people of possibilities and potential.
Every opportunity, I intend to lead a government that listens, that learns and that delivers. Diolch yn fawr.
Thank you.
Andrew RT Davies.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Can I congratulate the First Minister-designate on her appointment of the vote to the Senedd today. I congratulate her on that very carefully crafted speech as well that encapsulated a lot of the thoughts and sentiments that many people in this chamber would espouse, and also pointing to the Deputy First Minister role that you have created in Iorwerth and the experience that he brings to the government bench as well. I also congratulate the First Minister-designate on obviously being the first woman to hold that office. That is a significant moment in our political history and something that should be duly respected and acknowledged, because when I was speaking to my own daughters this morning, they made the very point that it will be a different dynamic in the Senedd having a woman First Minister in the centre of that chamber. And that is something that we should obviously reflect on and appreciate as well. And I do congratulate you on achieving that, and ultimately the next 18 months to the Senedd election, what you might achieve. Obviously, the electorate will have the chance to talk and speak at that election, and given the in-tray that you will have, the very large in-tray of NHS waiting lists, on the PISA results in education, and the economic situation we find ourselves in with Tata and a sluggish Welsh economy, then obviously those are big issues for you to address along with your cabinet. We are in recess, obviously, so it will be difficult for us in the coming weeks to obviously challenge and make points. But I do hope that the First Minister will engage with Parliament through the recess period, because it is important that we understand the urgency that she will bring to the role of First Minister, because you are the third First Minister in this year. And ultimately, that obviously has had a very corrosive effect in the delivery of government and the delivery of initiatives that the government have brought forward here in Wales. It is also important to try and understand, with the direction that the First Minister will take with her new government, what policies might still come forward from that government, what might be resurrected from the previous government under the previous First Minister, because three significant things were pushed to one side in that time: council tax revaluation, the sustainable farming scheme, and obviously then there was the issues around the health and education and the economy that constantly came to this floor, this chamber, that needed addressing. And I'd be very keen to understand the energy that the First Minister believes that she will be able to bring from her chair as First Minister, that she thought she couldn't bring from the health chair in tackling those deep-seated issues within our health service, because many people in Wales are blighted by those delays, and I'm sure she feels that personally, because she's had those conversations with medics and patients and families the length and breadth of Wales. But I sincerely hope that that very crafted and choreographed speech that you gave, a very clever speech, I might add, is translated into the delivery of the government. And I look forward, where we can, to working with you and ultimately delivering for Wales, because Wales is a country that ultimately has a great future ahead of it, with a huge amount of potential, and it's just the ability to untap that potential and offer that opportunity to young people and middle-aged people and old people that ultimately enhances the whole nation of Wales and makes sure that we achieve our full potential. So I wish you well, First Minister, and ultimately, I'm sure across this chamber, you and I will debate and ultimately ask many questions of First Minister's questions. I think you will be the fourth First Minister that I've had the opportunity to do that with. That most probably speaks maybe more to my electoral failure at elections than ultimately your ability to answer those questions. But I did note that the Deputy First Minister designate got a little restless in his chair when you talked about the men in grey suits were moving to one side. And I did look very hard whether that was a grey suit, but I think there's a bit of blue in there. But again, another significant appointment in the Deputy First Minister, and as someone who was here between the period of 07 to 11, it again would be very interesting to try and understand how that will work within the construct of the government you will look to create here in Cardiff Bay. Is it a title, or is it going to be a significant addition to the capacity of the government and the role of the government here in Wales? But congratulations, I wish you well.
Thank you very much, Llywydd, and on behalf of Plaid Cymru, I congratulate the First Minister on her nomination, and I wish her well as she takes the reins and grapples with the significant challenges that she faces. Although other parties here, including my own, have had female leaders in the past, it is something truly remarkable that Wales has a female First Minister for the very first time. As a father of two daughters myself, I believe that every step that shows there are no boundaries or glass ceilings to exist for them in politics or anywhere else, and that is to be warmly welcomed. In a normal year, I would be on the National Eisteddfod field, as would a number of ministers and the First Minister herself, possibly. But this is and hasn't been a normal year in Welsh politics, and it's important today to acknowledge why we are here, and in acknowledging that, we do see why I said at the outset that the challenges facing the new First Minister are so great. This isn't a tidy transfer of power from one First Minister to another. And for months, the Labour administration that's been in government for so long has found itself powerless in dealing with scandal and internal division rather than focusing on serving the people of Wales. And Wales deserves better than that.
The new First Minister, we wish her well today. But we also remind her and her government that in similar circumstances elsewhere, the Labour hierarchy argued that multiple changes in leadership in Westminster and in Scotland undermined the democratic legitimacy of government and demanded fresh elections. It's for Labour to explain why different rules should apply in Wales. We won't have an election, of course, here, because neither Labour nor the Conservatives want to face the Welsh electorate in a Senedd election right now. So we will hold the Labour government to account for their actions until we do as scheduled in 2026. We'll do so constructively in days of troubling and worrying divisions. It is important that all of us as individuals and all political parties challenge each other hard and work together where we can. We'll hold the government to account firmly and with only one thing guiding us, the interests of the people of Wales, something that government has had to put to one side recently whilst prioritising internal party problems. The new First Minister made it clear that she was putting herself forward as a unity candidate. That was unity for Labour in those circumstances. And in fact, we had a joint unity ticket, which spoke volumes, I think, whilst during times of coalition, a Deputy First Minister has served an obvious purpose. There is no Senedd or Welsh Government significance to the role of Deputy First Minister, as experienced as the Deputy First Minister designate is. It is about addressing Labour's own internal divisions, and it is in that context, and the wider context of having little so far, idea of the new First Minister's priorities due to the political storm that we have lived through. We have little idea of what the new First Minister wants to do in government. It's in that context that we will set about with our scrutiny. Will she reset the relationship between the Welsh and UK governments in a manner which amounts to more than sound bites? Unfair funding, the Crown Estate, HS2, the devolution of crime and justice. How does she intend to stand up for Wales? As former Health Minister, she must outline how she'll reverse her own record, which has resulted in the highest ever waiting times in Wales. On education, we want to know when the Labour Welsh Government will put conditions in place to allow all our pupils to reach their potential after years of Wales lagging ever further behind UK nations. What is the First Minister's plan for safeguarding the future of Welsh steel and creating the high-skilled, well-paid jobs which are so desperately needed to boost the economy? These are the matters that are important to the people of Wales. And on these and other issues, we will hold the Labour government to account and explain Plaid Cymru's positive vision for real change. More of the same really can't be an option anymore. But I wish the First Minister well as she embarks on her work. Dwi'n dymuno dda i'r Prif Weinidog newydd.
I wish the new First Minister well.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Llywydd. Well, at last, a female leader of a party. It's really wonderful to see you in that role. And as the now second female leader here, a political party here in Wales, I'm really delighted to see a woman leading a party. Llongyfarchiadau I chi.
Congratulations to you.
The Welsh Liberal Democrats, I extend that, those best wishes. It is very nice to have a female voice joining me, this one, when we have the leaders' debates and discussions. So really lovely to see you in that role.
And this is about signalling a really new politics for me. It's about a more equal politics, a more compassionate politics. This is a historical moment coming at a critical juncture here for Wales, a real opportunity for change. The mantle now falls to you and your government to really rebuild that trust, not just within the Senedd, but more crucially, for the people here in Wales. And as a Christian, I will be praying for you in that role, as I have done and many have done in the Chamber for all of our leaders and our government as well. Recent months have cast a shadow on Welsh politics, and we must now move forward. It has personally pained me to see the erosion of trust and the growing disillusionment of the people of Wales. We face this dark truth. We have a crisis of confidence, and I do look forward to that being rebuilt. The people of Wales are tired of political games and empty promises. What they want now is real tangible progress on the issues that impact their daily lives. I think of the families endlessly waiting for medical care, who see a workforce overwhelmed, a healthcare system at near breaking point. I think of the communities grappling with water pollution, demanding genuine accountability from water companies that have neglected their responsibilities. I think of the children trapped in the cycle of poverty, their potential stifled by a stagnant system beyond their control. I think of children such as 2-year-old Lola James, whose heartbreaking death underscores the critical challenges facing our overwhelmed child protection system. I fully intend to send you a letter, First Minister, to ask you again for a review of our child protection system so that we can truly protect our children here in Wales. Because if we are not here to speak for the lost and the last, we are not here doing our job. It is for these issues and the people here in Wales that I chose to abstain. Not an easy decision, not made lightly, and it doesn't stem from a lack of support to you as First Minister. On the contrary, my abstention serves as a clear signal that the real work of governance starts now. We all share a common goal to see Wales thrive and improve. We cannot be divided, particularly now as we see the potential rise of fascism and racism in our societies. We must coalesce, we must work together and stand firm against this evil and pervasive fear that is within our communities. There needs to be this loud and clear message and an effort to restore trust in politics. With the new government in Westminster and a new First Minister, we have a real opportunity here in Wales to demonstrate a fresh, Welsh, ambitious approach and a different kind of politics. I am here offering that support, asking that you demonstrate that ambitious vision, which truly needs to meet the needs of our people here in Wales. And I stand here, as do many, on behalf of our children and young people, to say we really do want to change. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you very much.
We've finally smashed through that glass funnel. Llongyfarchiadau mawr felly.
Many congratulations to the new First Minister Eluned Morgan, and thank you all for your contributions this morning. We will next meet in September, unless there's a need for another recall before then, so that brings today's proceedings to a close. Thank you.